Guys and gals, welcome back. Another episode. Well, actually, the first episode again revisited. It's like The Force Awakens all over. We recorded a little bit, and I lost the audio file, so
Yeah, way to go, Cody. Dropping the
that
ball already.
yeah, that jewel will never hit the internet unless I just post my audio, and then you guys can make up whatever Jason says. I mean, he makes up most of the shit that he says, anyways, so it's perfectly
Hey,
fine.
ad libs, man. It's the way to go.
Yeah, right. It'll be great. But I'm Floyd. This is Jason. Welcome. This is the news from the JCC. And we're just gonna kind of bullshit around today. We don't really have any guidelines. I mean, we're just gonna bullshit today.
Yeah,
Um,
sky's the limit. If you can think of it, we'll talk about it.
yeah, we're gonna give you some general info on what we want to start doing with the cast and stuff like that. Um, we are missing Chris. Chris isn't here, but we'll get him in sooner or later. He'll be part of it as well. Um, So basically, what we're going to want to try to do is Jason is going through his introduction to gaming. Jason's never really been a big gamer. He's played a few things here and there in the past and stuff.
Yeah, so forgive me. I am a bit of a noob. Just deal with it. And if you have any comments or concerns as to how I can improve these things, they're definitely welcome.
Yeah, and feel free to call him a pleb in the comment section because he fucking
How dare you?
hates it.
How
He hates
dare
it.
you?
He hates it, my dudes. Um, so what we've been doing lately is Jason has just recently upgraded to a PlayStation 4, which is good for him. He was on the PlayStation 3 for the longest time. He's just been playing Skyrim. Basically, what he's been trying to do is like develop thumbs because he doesn't have any. Um, like
No.
for,
By any means, shape, or form,
yeah,
no.
yeah, just no thumbs whatsoever.
They're just useless appendages right now.
Yeah. So, he's been trying to develop thumbs, and me and my buddy Chris, we've been trying to help him along and get him into the gaming world and get him into like the social clubs and get him into online. And then he went and he bought a PlayStation. I don't understand. It's just gonna be. It's like I'm sorry. It's like there's nothing wrong with PlayStation, but like we're trying to teach him how to play video games, and then he buys a console that we don't play on. So that's basically what we're working with when it comes to Jason. Is hey, let us teach you, and then he goes and buys the wrong fucking system. So
That's your opinion, and it's
yeah,
up for debate.
that's what everybody says when they put the fucking helmet on to join the dark side. You're not even a pleb. You're a stormtrooper. Like it might be just as bad, but
Wow. Tell me how you really feel. Come on, let it out there. Thanks.
um. So like he's been developing thumbs. So we're gonna go over regular updates and other episodes on how Jason's doing with stick and moving and how he's been able to develop thumbs. And if he's getting button controls down, he's gonna play a few other games. And we're kind of gonna let you guys join in on the ride that is Jason's introduction into gaming. Um, we would also like to talk about newer games that are coming out, stuff that we're currently playing that's already out, and Chris will be kind of like our retro guy. He plays a lot of fan made games. He plays a lot of older games. So we're gonna kind of talk with him about a retro side to it and how it relates to the modern market and what's different. And
How far it's come.
yeah, well, everybody knows how far it's come, Jason, because not everybody went out and bought the wrong console yesterday. So most of the people out there
Noob moment. I'll take responsibility for that one.
just jumping out there like everybody's on your level, like plus. Um, so that's basically what we're gonna do with the cast. We're gonna have a few other segments, um, along the way to kind of try and keep you guys entertained. Um, we'll probably do something along the lines of Thirsty Thursdays, where we'll all probably have maybe a few drinks or something. It might be like Thirsty Monday nights or some shit. I'm not entirely sure. One night we're probably all gonna get drunk. It'll be fun. We'll talk a bunch of shit. And you guys get to listen in. We do go live. We will be going live, is what I should be saying. We do have a Twitch already. It's twitch.tv/newsfromthejcc. I'll put a link in the description down in the YouTube video if you guys want to go and throw a follow there and get notifications for when we go live. Then you'll be able to get a complete unedited version of us attempting to navigate this world that is doing this cast. Um, other than that, Jason, have you found anything weird on the internet today? Find anything weird? No.
Just hanging out with you and trying to figure out this Skype thing. That's about the only weird thing that I've found today.
Yeah, and it's terrible. Like, we're so far behind in the Skype world. Like, who the fuck you like? I mean, I'm sure that there's tons of people that use Skype, but we don't really use Skype. I don't understand. I don't know why we've never tried to use the program or why we've never opened it up or anything like that. But yeah, Skype is new to us, so even us. So congratulations, Jason. Like, you know as much as I do about Skype now, which is pretty big step in your direction. Big step in your direction. Congratulations.
Oh my god, you mean I'm on your level on something? Holy shit.
Right? Yeah, you're not there a lot of the times, but on Skype, definitely on my level. So yeah. So that's new. One thing that I heard today, this is more along the lines of like weird internet shit that I was talking about, is so like this I read this article on Reddit, right? And there was this article on Reddit that was this guy that wants to have his newfound sexuality noticed by the public. And his newfound sexuality is for the longest time, this is how this guy starts this article out. For the longest time, he had been masturbating in his room, and when he would discharge his Jolly Rogers, you know what I'm saying? Like when he would, he would do it like towards the edge of his bed, and I guess his bed was up between, like close to the wall. So he would just kind of like, whoop,
like just let it go to the floor, or what? Just leave it there. It's like, oh, I'll save this for later.
Yeah. Well, that's what's weird is he was like, oh, I never cleaned it up, and I didn't, I just left it there, right? So, like, I mean, like, and first off, like, it's just way unsanitary. Don't do that, children. Okay, it's crazy. But like this guy was like, oh, like, so I looped it over against the wall, and I would just leave it. And he said I'd never clean it up, and blah blah blah. And eventually, of course, if you're that fucking filth ridden, like he was like, I started to notice cockroaches. So he was like, oh, I noticed these cockroaches. And at first he took the proper measures to exterminate the cockroaches. So, like, he would kill them. Please don't vape nation in my conversation. I'll say it once, not again.
Well, you just opened yourself up for that whole that whole thing right there. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
That's the rest of the cast, Vape Nation. Just have at it. I'll just add some music in the background, and you just burn your fucking coil up, my dude. Just go for it.
Blowing fat clouds, bruh.
Populating the sky, my dude. So anyway, so this guy was like, oh, so like at first he took proper steps to eradicate the problem that were the cockroaches, like under his bed and shit like that. And then after a while, he said that he started feeling bad for killing the cockroaches. So like,
somebody just watched like Men in Black or something, or like, I mean, honestly, like, why?
I don't know. Like, I mean, like, I get, like, just, like, one of those things, like, where he's like, oh, I feel so bad for killing, like, all these bugs. Like, he's like Charlie Day on fucking It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Like, he feels bad for the rats, but he's got to kill them, right? Like, he's wiped out generations of rats on that show. It's a whole joke thing. You should probably watch it, Jason. Jason hasn't watched Sunny in Philadelphia, so it's another thing about Jason.
I have better things to do with my life, sir.
Yeah, like what? Jack off into a corner and develop a fucking... A herd of mutant cockroaches that you're soon going to call your children?
Well, you know what? That actually sounds funner than hanging out with you right at the moment, so you know what? Goodbye.
I'm done. I quit. I'm over it. Fuck you. Yes. But anyways, like, so this guy started to care for the cockroaches because he was like, oh, they came from my whatever.
What? Fruit of my loins over here, or what?
Yeah. Perfect, yeah. So, like, these cockroaches came from his loins. And, like, so he started to care for the cockroaches. And then it just goes on and a bunch of... incoherent babble on how he's in love with all these cockroaches and all this garbage. That's how I spent my break at work today, is talking to somebody about that article.
And then here you are talking to however many people are listening about that article.
Been a weird day. The internet is a dangerous place. Like, this is how we're going to open our first podcast, is talking about splooging into a corner and cockroaches.
I know. I was kind of thinking about that. It's like, is this really the route we're going to go right now? Well, I guess so.
Well, I mean, it's just weird. I was just wondering, like, how you felt about the whole situation, because it's actually a thing. Like, that's how weird the internet is, dude. Like, that is the internet. Like, fucking, I just, like, sometimes there's just, like, there's people out there that are like that. And, you hang out with somebody all the time, like Jason. Like, I hang out with Jason pretty regularly. And, you could be one of those people, Jason. You could be a cockroach breeder. You never know. It's the internet.
How
That's crazy.
dare you make assumptions about what I do in my spare time? Leave my cockroaches out of this.
I know, right? How dare you talk ill of my children? But anyways, since the last time that we talked, Jason, like, have you had any time? Have you played any more video games, or are you?
Oh, I actually did go out and purchase ESO, Elder Scrolls Online, Morrowind, and I have actually been diving into that quite a bit lately.
Did you make a character? Did you fire up
Yes.
ESO? Wow.
Yes, I did.
What route are you gonna take? What'd you do? Enlighten
Well,
us, please. I'd like to hear about this.
Race would be
Real quick.
sorry, go ahead.
Before you begin, people out there, in Radio Land, I play a lot of Elder Scrolls Online. I know that a lot of people are like, I hate Elder Scrolls. It's not, it ruins my immersion. All you role players, you guys fucking hate it, I know. But I play the game a lot, and if you haven't played it, if you're into MMOs and stuff, I would highly recommend getting it. It's a fantastic game. Anyways, go ahead, Jason. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, you're good. So basically, the race, I decided to go with the orc. I'm a warden. I believe that's actually.
You went with the new class, huh? You fired up the
Yes,
new
I was going
dude.
to say, I believe that came out with the newest release. But basically, I think I'm like level 7. I mean, I'm still just kind of wandering around. I mean, this world's actually pretty big. I mean, was it Vardenfell?
Oh, yeah, you're lost as fuck in the new area. Everybody's lost. They don't really know a lot about it yet, though.
Yeah, all right. Well, fair enough. Well, that's where my entire gameplay takes place. And I've come to find that there's actually quite a few things that you get in the middle of, and every once in a while you're just like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm doing this by myself, and somebody just pops up out of nowhere and they just like start going to town on this thing. It's like, oh my god, thank you. You just saved my ass right now.
Yeah, but then like that's why, like what I was talking about with immersion is that's why some people don't like it. It's because like when you're playing an Elder Scrolls game, like there's immersion, and like you feel like you're the only person that can take care of that problem. So you're taking care of the problem, but in the vastness that is ESO Online, well, ESO Online, that doesn't really make any sense, right? Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah, that's a little redundant there. Come on. Use your head, brother man.
Learn how to construct a sentence, nerd. But like, that was a poorly constructed sentence.
Well played, sir.
But anyways, so like that's what I was talking about with immersion. Is some people are like, oh, I'm supposed to be the hero. I'm supposed to be the guy that solves all these problems.
Well, I have some news for those people. I hate to break it to you, but you're not the center of the world. It does not revolve around you. Get over it and just enjoy the game.
Jason just took a shot at our peers. Just direct shot at our peers. Crazy. But that's why some people didn't really like Elder Scrolls Online. I did it again. Yeah, no, Elder Scrolls Online. I'm gonna never mind. Edit that out. Future me.
Wake up, dude. Like have an energy drink or drink some coffee or something. Like pay attention to what's going on in the world around you right now. Like holy crap.
Just trying to drink water and smoke a cigarette. It's been a long day. But like but that's what people don't like about it is somebody else will run along. They'll break their immersion. Blah 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 blah. But I mean, it's good that you started out in the new area. You get to experience the new content. So, I mean, at least, like, in future conversations, you'll be caught up with what everybody else's experience is at the current moment if you're playing ESO. A lot of people are spending their time there. But the one bad thing is you have to experience the overload that is Vardenfell. Like Vardenfell is so overwhelmed with people right now that the the immersion's going to be completely broken for you because everywhere you go there's like 5 or 6 fucking people doing the same
Oh yeah,
quest
no,
that you're
there's
doing.
always people everywhere that you go, which like I said, it does actually come in handy because, you know, you get into some of these quests or, yeah, you get into some of these quests and some of these things are just way too much. It's like, holy crap, man. It's like, what did I just get myself into? I'm not a part of any guild. I don't have, I haven't got any friends online or anything like that. So I'm pretty much doing this by myself as is. And then, like I said, you walk up, you get involved in this thing, and it's basically, yeah, you're biting off more than you can chew. And then all of a sudden, somebody just kind of just shows up and helps you take a piece of the pie. And it's just like, oh, thank God I didn't
Yeah.
die.
Well, also like have you so you're a warden. I mean like have you figured out what you want to do? Are you going to go magic? Are you going to go stam? Are you going to tank? Like what are you going to do?
Um, right now, I'm kind of leveling him up evenly. But I mean, really, I think I'm focusing more on health and magic than I am stamina. Just because I have noticed that all those, all the things that you can summon to your aid are actually they're quite helpful. Um, but
Yeah, well
I've always been like a straight shooter kind of guy. I've always been I mean, when I played Skyrim, I was the same way. I was always the warrior with a little bit of magic, backing. But I'm one of those people that I like to run up and just wreck shop.
all
And I'm
right.
finding it's kind of difficult to do, but
Yeah, I hate to break it to you, my dude, but that game is not it's not Skyrim. Like what you're going to notice is as you level your character up, that abilities will morph. What you're using, abilities will morph.
right, and that's popped up, and I don't entirely understand exactly what the concept is behind morphing abilities.
Well, what's gonna happen is I don't have a lot of experience. I haven't even made a warden yet. I haven't messed with the class yet. I haven't done it. Because I'm still working. I run a Dragonite tank. Okay, I'm a Nord for those wondering. But the thing is like when you morph abilities, you'll notice that you can change the ability from a stamina ability to a magic ability, or a magic ability to a stamina ability. And
Oh,
what you
okay,
want,
okay, I'm following with you right now.
yeah. So what you want to do is one, develop a role. Like figure out what you want to do. Do you want to tank? Do you want to taunt? Sword and shield and taunt and block, manage your resources, buff your team, stay alive, and be the last man standing if something goes wrong to try to get a res? Do you want to do damage, meaning that somebody else is going to take the aggro of whatever you're fighting and you're just going to attempt to shit on that boss or that mob, whatever you're fighting? Or do you want to heal? You can heal. So you can like kind of stand behind the DPS, see where they're going, get tracked on what they're doing, throw down some heals, and keep them alive. Because the thing is if you're gonna deal damage in the game, you're gonna be squishy.
You're gonna be squishy.
Yeah,
You're gonna be soft. You
you
got soft
are,
skin.
you're gonna be squishy because like you're gonna need to rock medium and light, one piece of heavy armor. So that because most DPSs run on stam unless you're a Sork and then you're kind of magic based. Like I said, I'm not big on the Warden builds yet. I don't know a whole lot about the Warden build. Um, but the thing is if you're DPS and you want your resources to come back as quick as possible, because when you run out of resources as a DPS, you're not doing anything. You're literally just a face in the crowd, and then people will become angry at you. Okay? So, like,
It's
but if
like
you're,
being in the hot seat playing blackjack.
yeah, and then you just sit there and you're like, dealer has 15, and I have, let me add up what it would be. Like, I have an ace and a 7, like,
I'm gonna go ahead and just hit.
Yeah, and then somebody slaps you and gets pissed, and they tell you to get the fuck off their table, which is exactly how your experience in ESO will be, because ESO is full of people that are really good at the game, or they think they're good at the game and they're extremely shitty, and they're gonna blame all their problems on you. Oh, what a magical universe.
Well, I should be used to that. I've been hanging out with you for years.
I know, right? Yeah. So like, like if you're not making beer pong shots, you're a face in the crowd. Get the fuck out of here. But um,
Don't have time for these carnival games.
but one of the things is here. I'll tell you a little story. I was doing this the other day. I was playing a little ESO, and I was like doing like one thing that I should tell you right now is go to a main town. Pick up all your writs, all of your abilities to craft, all of your enchanting, your provisioning, your clothing, your blacksmithing, your woodworking, um, and start working on all of that. I missed one. I know I did enchanting, provisioning,
Alchemy.
and alchemy. Yeah, that's the one. Good job. So pick up all of those and start immediately because it takes so long to do that shit. But you want to level that up. Try not to sink too many skill points into it at the current moment while you're leveling your character up. Eventually, you'll walk around. Like, have you found a sky shard yet at all? Like, have you gone into?
Yeah, I actually just found one last night, and I saw this thing was glowing. It was like glowing into the sky. I'm like, I'm on my way to go do something. That's kind of out of my way. I was like, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to go ahead and check it out. And I go over to it and activate it, and it tells me to find more throughout the game because it'll help with, leveling your character. And I'm like, what?
Yeah. So your maximum level is 50, right?
Okay.
So you'll get a skill. Well, you'll get a skill point every level. Every time you hit like level 5, you'll get like 2. Every time you hit a multiple of 5, and then every time you hit like a multiple of 10, you'll get I guess multiple 10, whatever. Every time you hit 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50, you'll get 3 skill points. Every time you hit 5, 15, 25, you'll get 2 skill points, and then every other level you'll gain 1. The only other way to gain other skill points is to go and do the delves. They're like the little torch looking things on the map. In every delve, there's a boss that you can kill for world loot. A world set piece drop will drop for you, and there's a sky shard in every delve. Every zone should have 15 sky shards. So
Holy crap.
yeah, but you have to get 3 of them in order to get a skill point. So, I would make a Zelda reference here, but you wouldn't get it.
Yeah, you'd be correct in that assumption, sir.
So so you're gonna want to do all that every time you come across a delve. If you're going, and then like sometimes you'll do like a main quest line, and at the end of this big long quest, they'll give you a skill point. Like you'll get an extra skill point. But skill points is how you morph things, how you buy abilities, how you like when you're leveling up your crafting. It's what you put in there so that you can get better. You can start using the higher quality materials so that you can start finding the higher quality materials. So you can start getting the legendary, the gold mats. It's what you're going to want. So building your character that way is one thing, and it's going to take a real long time. So what you're going to want to do is like quest until you hit level 50. Once you hit level 50, the real fun is going to kind of start for you. Because once you hit level 50, you're going to go into the champion area. And the champion area is going to be champion points. And champion points are going to start to build on what you want to do with your character and make everything that you have better. So what you want to do is you want to kind of figure out what you want to do. If you want to tank, if you want to DPS, if you want to heal, something like that.
Considering all things considered, I mean, looking at the way that I've always played in the past, I think DPS would probably be the route that I would probably end up going.
Yeah, well, DPS is fun, but remember,
it's just one of those things you stick to what you know, right?
Yeah, but everybody else in the world is a fucking DPS, my dude. There's so many more DPS.
I get to be a statistic.
Yeah. You get to be one of those fucking guys. So like, but yeah, just like keep building your dude, get him up to level 50, start talking about some champion points. But also in ESO, I've noticed when you play Skyrim, like we've always talked about this, you stop and you look. If you're going to run a DPS, please, for the love of God, don't just stand there.
Develop those thumbs.
Yeah, you will die. You will die. Okay? If you're a DPS and you're just standing there spamming abilities, you're just waiting for a boss to turn on you and just kill you. Like, you need to move, you need to dodge roll, you need to block, you need to heavy attack to get your resources back. You need to... I mean, it's a lot different than hack and slash in Skyrim. And you'll notice that once you start to play the game, and then you'll start having a lot of fun. But I'm glad that you got on there, and I'm glad that you started actually developing a character. I mean, that's good that you actually started playing. Plus, you're in the new area, and you'll get all the new cool stuff, too. Like, in the old vanilla areas, there's, like, you don't, like, you'll get a piece of gear and, like, 300 gold, which is a little ridiculous. A little ridiculous, because they're like, thanks for saving our entire village. Here's, 200 gold. And
Yeah,
you're
I don't even get that, dude. I get like 80 something or 70 something gold.
Yeah, well, it'll as you get higher level, you'll start gaining more and more gold from questing. But like I said, you're not going to get a lot of gold from questing. It kind of sucks because you can go in and be like, "Oh yeah, I got 300 gold. I'm sitting fat." And you're like, "Ooh, look, I can buy a mount. I can buy a horse." And they're like, "Yo, dude, yeah, it's only like 10,000 gold."
Oh, I know, for a horse. Yeah, I looked at that. I was like, "Are you kidding me? Like, how?"
So,
I think I've got like 500 gold.
well,
Like, I think that's what my character has right now.
What edition did you buy of Morrowind though?
Actually, I'm not entirely positive on that.
How much did you spend on it? Like $60 or $70 or what?
It's the discovery pack.
And did they not give you a mount or anything? Did you get a dwarven crate or a droomer crate when you opened up the?
I got a crate, and I'm not entirely sure I understood exactly how to use it, but it allowed me to have a non-battle pet, whatever that followed me around.
Yeah, you got
and then it gave me I had a choice between 2 costumes.
Oh wow, you got 2 costumes and a pet out of 1 box?
Yeah, something like that.
Wow.
Anyways, I have a choice of 2 costumes, so it gave me 1 costume, I guess, because I guess does everybody start with a costume?
Well, maybe you might have gotten the pre-order stuff. I think people that like pre-ordered or have the certain edition that came with Morrowind, I think you get a costume for your warden.
That might be it.
Yeah. So
and then the pet, non-battle pet, he's pretty much useless. He just kind of follows me around.
Yeah.
But I did get my my animal
what pet
ability up to high enough level that I unlocked a feral. It's like a feral bear or something like that. Bear will actually attack.
Yeah, you got the bear. That's an ultimate ability? Yeah, is it an ultimate?
Yes,
ability?
it is. It's an ultimate ability.
Yeah,
and
so that's the ultimate ability. That's the one that I was talking about. Like there are some sorks that run pets in the game, or some sorks they run it's like a bound armor. It's called bound Aegis is usually what most people morph the ability into. But the thing is like if you run a summoning on a bar, like once you get to level 15, you'll understand like there's bar swapping. So like you should be able to hit on Xbox, it's left on the D-pad, and you'll swap between bars. Most of the time, if you have a summonings, you have to have a summonings on both bars, or if you switch bars, the summons will go away. The bear doesn't work that way. You can just have the bear, summon the bears, bar swap, and you can have a different ultimate, which is good. Which is what's good about the beer. Good old beer.
Huh.
But you'll learn that. But I mean,
the bear definitely. I mean, because I just got it. I unlocked it last night. I haven't played today. After work, I came home and started setting up all this with you. So I haven't jumped on today. But I did play around, a little bit with the bear, and the bear does actually come in handy. That's for sure.
Well, yeah, people.
I mean, he goes up, he attacks, and then on top of that, also you draw attention away from me, so I can maneuver around and just basically just back attack this enemy here.
Yeah. So I mean, like, but that's what some people have been saying that the bear does do decent amount of damage. But I mean, like, well, it's an ultimate ability. Is like that's you want it to do damage. That's what if you're gonna be a DPS, you're gonna want Ice Comet or Meteor or whatever you're gonna get with your character most of the time for DPS. You're gonna want to cast something like that. That's gonna do like your ultimate is like me as a tank. I have an ultimate that reduces the amount of damage that's coming in to like 3% of my max health. Like it makes me pretty much invincible for probably maybe 15 seconds. But DPS, you're gonna want something that just you're gonna want to drop it on something like a group of mobs or a boss, and you're just gonna want to drop it. And you want the highest damage ability that you want, and you want to drop it every chance you get, most of the time. I mean, if you're just fighting like one or two mobs, you're not gonna want to be like, "Oh, get fucked, nerds," and then drop it and like not have it for a boss. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
if there's a big group of mobs and you have your ulti up, probably a good idea to start shitting on a set of mobs. So, what kind of weapons are you using? Are you using a sword and board? Are you using dual wielding? Are you using a destruction staff, a bow?
I did actually have dual wielding set up for a moment, and I realized that was getting me nowhere fast. And then I came across some kind of enchanted axe. I don't know. It's I mean, it's the color of it's green, so I mean, it's not really that much better, but it is a step up above the white.
Yeah.
So that it's a war axe, so I mean it's double-handed, but it actually does do some damage.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. Well, the two-handed can be viable. Definitely. There's a bunch of there's a few abilities within the dual wield, or not the dual wield, the two-handed skill tree that are pretty good. But what you're gonna want to do also, like we'll talk more once you get to level 15, and then we'll kind of go into bar swapping and we'll get your shit all set up. Which will be interesting. It's kind of once you get bar swapping set up, you're capable of doing a lot more with your character once you hit level 15. But it's good that you dropped in there. So you're running the two-handed right now, but that's good. Level up everything that you can right now. Try to figure out a path to go. If you're gonna use a two-handed, probably later you'll end up putting that on your back bar. And you're probably gonna want to go. You're probably gonna want to go destruction staff or dual wield as well. Level those up for DPS depending on if you're gonna go magic or blah blah blah. So you're an orc warden, huh?
Correct.
Really cool. We'll see where that goes.
I'll keep you posted.
Yep, get them up to 15, then we can start talking about bar swap. So have you tried to join any guilds, or have you tried to get into a club or anything like that?
At this point in time, I haven't. I did actually go on. It wasn't last night. It was the night before. I was kind of running around doing something, and there was somebody that was following me. So he said something about you want to team up, so to speak, and there ended up being three of us that were just kind of going around, and that worked for all of like one little quest line, and then next thing I know, it's like we didn't even finish. We finished that quest line, and it gives us another quest, right? It's all part of that that whole line, so to speak, and as soon as we finished that one little area, those two kind of veered off and started doing their own thing, and it's like, well, wait, we just got another piece of information as far as this one quest goes. Like, where exactly you guys going? And I kind of just like, I'm over it. I'm done. I called it a night, went to bed. As far as any guilds, I mean, I went and talked to the Mage Guild, like Fighters Guild or something like that or whatever. I've kind of find it. There's a lot of stuff. Like you're walking through any of these places, you have all these little random arrows that'll pop up there, people to go talk to go do this, go do that, and it's like, yeah, you can kind of take on a lot of quests all at once, and it's like, whoa, let me just kind of focus on a couple of them at a time here, and it's like they just keep racking up. So it's like, all right, you know what, I'm just gonna let this go. I'm going to go buy this person right now. I'm not even going to talk to him and start another quest here. I'm just going to go ahead and finish what I'm doing and come back to this person later.
Yeah, well, that's one thing you got to do for sure. Is that well, it's going to be overwhelming. I mean, guilds. What I was talking about is there's player guilds out there. Okay. One thing that you should do next time you play is if it's not already active, you need to turn your text chat on. Okay. Turn your text chat on.
Okay.
Like once you turn your text chat on, it'll you'll notice there'll be like people be like, "Oh, I'm looking for a group for this. Oh, I'm trying to sell this." Most of the time, it's people trying to sell. It's like an open auction house in the guild chat. But people will post for guilds. They'll be like, "Yo, we're starting a new guild, or we already have a guild, and blah 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 blah." Get into a guild. Get into a guild. Start talking to people because it's the only way at this moment that you're going to be able to complete any other content besides questing. I mean, you can use the activity finder to go in and you can find a group for a random normal dungeon. Every time you complete a normal dungeon, by the way, or like a quest within, it can be on veteran as well. But like every time you complete a dungeon, it'll give you a skill point for completing the quest within there. You'll get one of the new trophies for your house. So like you can get some cool stuff out of doing that. But the best way to do it is to be in a guild. Be part of the community, get in there, start talking on the mic to people in there. You don't even have to talk on the mic. You can go in, join a guild, and be like, "Yo, I only type in text chat. Get over it. It's gonna happen that way."
You mean I actually gotta be social to some degree?
Yeah, I know it kind of sucks, but you have to talk to other people. Like you have to.
Ah,
And then
great. So not only can they listen to how boring my life is on here, they can find out in Morrowind as well. ESO, right on.
well, just
Opening up to a whole new crowds of people right now.
well, I mean, like the thing is, though, the thing is like they'll help you. Like being in a guild, people will help you. If you go in and you're like, "Hey guys, I just started um trying to build my character. I don't know which way to go. This, that, and the other." And you want some help outside of what I can offer you, because I mean, like I said, I don't know a lot about the Warden. Um, there's a lot of people out there that have been playing a lot longer than I have, that have a lot more knowledge than I do about other builds. I could build you a tank right now. I could build you a tank, tell you exactly what you need and exactly what to do.
Oh, because
It'll
that's
be
what
fun.
you are. It is a tank.
Yeah. So I can build a tank, but DPS, other people know a lot more. And if you're playing, since you'd screwed up and bought a PlayStation, um, you can get help from outside sources. And then plus one of the things that we're going to be talking about more and more is your ability to join the online community. You're going to have to get out there and you're going to have to talk to people. Like you're a social experiment right now. That's what we're talking about.
A social
Yeah.
experiment.
Yeah,
Wow.
you're a social experiment. But also like if you join a good enough guild and you find like a group of dudes that are pretty cool, they'll give you some stuff. There's people out there that are master crafters. So once you get to a certain point, like once you get to 50, well, what you really want to do is get to champion level 160. That's when the gear level drops. Like it drops off. Like it stops at champion 160. And that's the best. That's the highest level gear that you can get. Even though your character, champion points wise, can go up to 630 with the new patch. You want to
It's
get
just
to
ridiculous.
yeah. But it just makes you better and better as you go. Like in PvE, like PvP, most of the time, like the new battleground stuff is most of the time it's like non-champion point battleground. So like there's your champion points don't mean anything in certain PvP areas. PvE 630 is the cap, and that's where you kind of want to be. People are gonna kind of be an asshole to you most of the time if you jump into a dungeon and you're like champion level 45. Some people are like, it's not even it's not 160, but you don't need to be that high to do normal and veteran dungeons. To be honest with you, it's you don't need to be that high. But they'll help you. Once you hit level 60, you can find somebody like in your player guild that's like a master crafter, and you can be like, hey man, like I need you to, will you make me this set of armor and this set of armor and blah 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 so that I can have something so that you can go and start running dungeons at that point. Like, you don't really want to start running dungeons too early because the gear is going to drop. The gear will drop at your level, it will. But it's not going to be worth it. Because you're just going to keep leveling up and leveling up and leveling up, and then the gear's not going to be worth it anymore. And then you're going to, if you want a dungeon set, you want to be 160 and get it at 160 because that's the highest gear cap, and you don't want to have to go back into the dungeon and farm the set again. Because I'll tell you something right now, farming dungeon sets is not fun. It is not fun at all. It's
Can you elaborate on that? What exactly is farming a dungeon set? What exactly do you mean?
all right, so what you'll notice is so like if you do a delve and you kill a boss in like the new area, there's like the warrior poet set, there's the defiler set, there's like named sets out there, okay?
Okay.
So a named set, if you get a named set, there's a 2-piece bonus, a 3-piece, a 4-piece, and a 5-piece
Okay.
bonus.
Yeah, I've come across some of those.
Yeah, so they'll like once you get 5 pieces, all of those listed abilities will be added to your character.
Nice.
In every dungeon, there's a different set of gear in there. There's a light set, a medium set, and a heavy set. Okay?
Okay.
Every time you go into a dungeon, there's like I don't know, there's more bosses and something. You'll kill like 5 bosses, okay? You'll kill like 5 bosses in a dungeon, and you'll get a set drop from that dungeon every time you kill one. But the pieces will come with different traits on them, okay? The traits that you want are divines. You want divines, or I don't know, for heavy sometimes, like, you know, you can take reinforced on a heavy, which is going to give you more physical and spell resistance. But anyways, so pretty much everything you want is divines. You want divine shit. But like I said, there's a head, there's a chest, there's legs, there's boots, there's gloves, there's a one-handed weapon, a two-handed weapon, there's a staff, there's a bow, there's a shield for every set in a dungeon.
Good God.
so like if you're going out and you're going into a dungeon and you farm up a set, then you hit 160, you want to keep that set. You have to go back in and reacquire all of those pieces again, and that means running that dungeon once a day, twice a day, however many times you want to do it. Like, I still need a shield for my tank. Okay, I still need a fucking shield to complete my tank, and I can't get it. And it's in the White Gold Tower. It's one of the more difficult dungeons to do, even on normal, because you need to know all the mechanics. The bosses aren't just a DPS dummy that stand there. Like, there's mechanics to the fights. But, like I said, you don't want to acquire all these dungeon pieces and then end up back in a dungeon at champion 160 or higher and sitting there farming this one set trying to get a pair of boots for this set, you know, every day, running that dungeon 2-3 times. And, you know, trying to run it with people that are above 160 so that, because, like, you can trade drops with your group that's running that dungeon. Like, you can trade it with them. You can't trade it with anybody outside of your group, but you can trade it within them. So if you're running it with a group that's all above champion 160, then if they get your drop, they can give it to you.
See, I should have just bought an Xbox, because then I wouldn't have to have you try to explain all this stuff to me. I could just be like, hey, Cody, are you on? Yes. Good.
Exactly.
Now run me through this here and help me out.
Exactly. Like, that's why I told you. But no, let's go buy a PlayStation. Like, what? No.
It's like, no, how dare you give me any suggestions? I'm going to do this on my own.
Yeah.
And now I'm just kind of walking around in the dark here, like, what do I do?
Yeah, otherwise I could already have you in a guild. I could have you with like 100k gold. You'd already have a mount. Like, you'd be sitting fat, but you bought a PlayStation.
And here I am, like level 6, level 7, walking around all proud of my little feral bear.
Yep. Hey guys, look, I have a bear. Nobody cares about. Everybody's got the bear. Like, everybody's got the bear. But you could have 100k gold and have a mount and a bear. Like, you'd be sitting fat. But PlayStation. But we will continue on at a later date. We'll get you up to level 15. Probably, maybe next time we record. Hopefully you're level 15. And you will have yourself bar swap. And we'll talk about some bar swap. Also, in the meantime, you know, try and play some other stuff and keep developing your thumbs and this, that, and the other. Next time when we record, we will go ahead and see if we can't get Chris here, and we'll drop a little retro stuff on you guys, and we'll see all of you guys and gals at a later date.
Until then, stay safe.
Kid, you stay sexy, San Diego.